Hey, Jennifer Priest here with a fun DIY felt letterboard sign. Now, I've seen these in the store for like $150. Here's how you can make it for under $50. Come on over to my channel and check out this fun DIY.
Hi everybody, Erin here today, and I am going to tackle another disaster in my craft room. The disaster that I have is all of my dies. These are all my wafer thin dies that I have just kind of collected over the years. Some of these are still in their original packaging. Some I haven't even opened yet, but I love. And I think part of the reason why I don't use them as much as I want to is because they're just in this massive mess in a cupboard that every time I look at it, I kind of go, ugh. All of these dies are metal, which is nice. And so what my plan is that we have these magnetic sheets from Deflecto, and they're magnet on one side and white on the other. And my thought is to take the magnets and take the dies and magnetize them and see how they don't slip out. It's very cool. But now I have all these sheets and I have all these dies. What am I going to do? Well, Deflecto also makes these little plastic pouches right here. So what I've done now is I've gone through and I've taken a whole bunch of paper. Now, I wasn't really concerned about what the pattern was on the paper. What I was concerned about was the thickness of the paper. I really wanted a good, thick, heavy stock of paper. And then what I did is I cut it down to size and I glued 2 sheets together. If I didn't like what was on the inside of it, so it was one way to kind of use up my paper, then, or I just was not a fan of that, or I didn't have a use, or it's been in my stash for 2 to 3 years and I've never touched it. Good use for this. So I went ahead and glued just like you're about to see. I took 2 sheets. So this is one that, you know, I live in Texas, and how often do I see snow? So I've had this particular set, I think, for about a year, and I've done stuff with it, but I don't have a huge use for it much anymore. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to double side. Now, since this is a double-sided paper, I can put one side this way and one side this way, and then it looks like I have 2 sheets. So some of the papers I did that. Some of them, see, there's one where I did a 2-sided, and some I just left plain because I didn't like what was on the inside, or it was a plain white. You can see this was just a white, but I was going for thickness of cardstock on this. So now all these little sheets will fit straight in my little pocket. And they fit in super easy, just like this. Now, because the only side that is actually magnetic on these sheets is the black side, I'm going to cut strips and glue them down. Here's 2 sets of dies that are going to go in here. One side, pull this out. So this is pretty much the only one that's going to be able to fit in. I may be able to squeeze a tiny die, like this little guy could probably go in the corner here, and just to save space. I don't want to use up this whole entire page just for this. But because this is, here, let me get these off. They're all stuck on here. See, and this is the reason why I want to get these off of here, is because they drive me nuts being all sticky on them. So because these are a concentric die set, oh, they're even sticking through the magnets, they stick great on the magnet. So all I need to do is I need to put a strip going this way to have this here, and then I can do another little something to stick it here. I don't need the whole sheet covered with a magnet. That's the beauty of this. So I'm going to take just a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to cut a strip. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I've got a lot of magnetic sheets here to work with, and I can judge the amount that I want to do. So I like the thickness of this. I just need to cut it down to size. It's about to here. So right about there. About the width of my paper. And I'm going to use a really good strong glue. So I'm going to use the Beacon Power Tack. It's an industrial grade. It's a low odor. It'll make concrete stick to concrete. And I really want to make sure that this doesn't slide around on me, and I want a nice, good, super good hold. So I'm going to use that to glue the white side down. So all I'm going to do now is take a little bit, and this does take a little bit of time. I'm just going to smear some on to dry. It takes up to 24 hours, but I'm not going to be messing with it. I'm not going to do weird stuff. And I'm going to flip it over, get right there in the middle, and it's on there. I mean, it already has a good tack to stick it on and make sure it doesn't move around. And now all I need to do is magnetize my little guys on here. And the other beautiful thing about the fact that they're in a pouch is I don't have to worry about how much they're getting shifted around because they're in a pouch. If they get it, if they slip and fall, they're still inside a pouch. Now, see how I have a little bit of room over here? I'm going to find a small die. See, and they're on here. I mean, they're going to be on here. They're magnetized, they're on there, and then they're going to fit nicely into here. Great. And then I have room to put one on the other side. And even if there's a magnet that I stick to this side, guess what? They're going to kind of help stick everything together. Well, the only thing I'm worried about is are my magnetic sheets going to stick, but I think I'll be fine because they're in pouches, we'll be okay. So I'm going to find another little guy to go here, and then I'm going to fill in on here, and I'm going to keep on filling in and putting as many as I can in my big pouches. And then I also cut some sheets to fit into my small pouches right here. And for this one, because this is a much tighter, snugger fit pouch, this guy's bigger, it's looser. There's a lot more space to open up. So I've got some more wiggle room with how thick I can put stuff in. This guy, because this pouch is so narrow, I really can't go too thick or I'm gonna have a hard time getting stuff in and out. So I just went with a single sheet of paper. And this is gonna be for some of my smaller dies. Maybe they're longer. Like this guy, I could probably fit this one and this one here and go from there. The other beautiful thing about this is as I'm going through, because I'm pulling them out of all my containers, I can go in and I can write what this is. I can write this is Spellbinders. So I'm just going to take a pen and write in here, because I probably want to write on this side with the wrong side. Just going to write in Spellbinders. Just so I know if I'm ever going to label my product or my objects I'm going to do, if I ever want to make sure that I know which die I use when I'm listing my inventory, if I'm putting it in for a product call or when I'm writing my blog posts, I know which one it is. And then if I know it's Spellbinders, if I can't remember the name of it, like this is gold oval, I can always go online and find it, or I can write my little code up here. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. S4413 gold oval. And this is more for me than anybody else. It's however you feel you want to organize it. So if I put this little guy up here, this guy really doesn't have leafy flourish. If I want to stick this little guy up here, then I would just write Dynamics or, you know, MFT, my favorite things, because that's what the company is from. Dynamics is just the brand or the little, what they call their dies. And then I would just write MFT and put it right there. And I think that's enough that I would need to know. I don't need to necessarily know which thing it is, but it's your call. However you want to organize your stuff. So I'm going to keep working on this and I'll come back and show you what it all looks like when it's done. Here's my problem. I got through, I put as many dies as I could in all my little pouches. I still have more. And what if I get more? What am I going to do? So I came up with a plan B because I have no more pouches. If I get more pouches, I have a solution. So what I found is that this came from Dynamite. These little pouches right here are already a pretty good size for my book. And they already have a slot. They're a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'm okay with them being a tiny bit long. It was either that or I picked a square, but it's kind of short and I'm losing a lot of space. I played with this one, but this one really stuck out and that kind of bugged me. And then I played with this package, and again, they all stuck out way too far. So I was happy with this, and I have 6 of them. And so all I did is I took all of the packaging out. I'm not going to keep the paper inside. Instead, I cut out my own paper, and I'm going to do the same thing like I did. So let me show you how I did that again. I'm going to take my magnetic sheet from Deflecto, and I'm going to cut out a section. I'm going to use, and this one's probably going to go straight down the middle, just like this. I am going to take my Power Tack glue, and I've used quite a bit of it, and these things are holding strong. This stuff is strong. You don't need a ton, and it's like a tube of toothpaste. You want to roll it from the bottom so you don't waste your space. And I'm trying to get better about doing that. I have a habit of pushing right here, and it's really bad, but I'm going to waste a ton of glue. So try and do the rolling method as best as you can. Go ahead and place your magnet down and then just start filling it in. I know this is Dynamite, so I'm going to write this in the corner. I'm going to do this. I tried to keep all like companies together. And if I didn't write the spelling correctly, who's gonna know but me and anybody who's watching? So I'm gonna do my best to try and fit these in. So look, I can get, let's count how many I can fit on here. So this fits down here, and look, it's just wide enough. That's one package I got rid of. Two, and look, I'm trying to put all my Easter together. So I don't think I have any more Easter, but on the back side, see, look, now I can flip this over and I can put another strip of magnetic. And I don't want to go too tiny because I do want to have some holes on my magnet. And because they're, and this happened to me a lot, I kept on, but just kind of wipe it up. I get little glue cobwebs. So maybe this will be my holiday one. So here I have a Valentine heart. And it is shifting a little bit, so it's okay. The glue is not set 100%, but it will get there. Look, I have a Santa, so look, how many have I done? One. Oh, I think I threw the other one two away. So 1, 2, 3. We can count. It's not like I need the package to count. Here, stick a little Santa there. Let's stick this little ball up there. See how much room you're saving by just combining. And I know I have room on the other side. And just be careful flipping them back and forth. Look at that. So how many dies was I able to sit? And I could still fit tiny ones, but you know what? I've got more. I think I can easily fit these guys. So let's count. I've got, let's put it in the sheath. 1, 2, 3 on that side. Carefully slide it in. And unfortunately, these little packages here, is a good and bad thing is they're free, but they're a little flimsy. So these are going to last forever. I am not going to have a problem with that. And I'm sorry if my camera just jiggled big time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I bet my little Santa fell off. See, so sometimes it's nice to have them in the packaging, but they're still on there very firmly. So now I can go in, flip my book, and place this guy in here. And I don't have to hole punch this side because it fits perfectly with the top thing fits right in here. I don't know if she designed it that way, but it's working awesome for me. So thanks, Heidi, I appreciate that. So now I am combining, and how many little packages did I just get rid of into one package? And do you have to put the magnet in there? No, I don't think you absolutely have to, but now they're not sliding up and down the package and getting all the way to the front and shifting all the way to the back. And I can see them. They're nice and flat. They're not flipping around. These guys, I maybe didn't have to do the magnet, but some of them I put more than one, and I just was going with the flow on that. So I didn't have to, but I did. So there it is. So I'm going to keep finishing it up, and then I'll go show it to you all the way when it's done. All right, so here is my pretty much finished book. I'm going to show you how I'm going to put in the last page and how I kind of organized it. And I want to flip through and show you what it's all about. So Heidi's Swap book, it's a pretty sturdy little book. It's the right size. I can easily stick this on a shelf or in a, on a kind of like in a little cubby hole. And then inside we have various sizes of pockets. And this one was too big to fit into any of my little pouches. So beautiful thing, I have a little pocket system that I can hold things in, or if I get a new one and I don't have a new sheath to put it in, I can slide them in here. So I have this nice little pocket system I can work with. And then I have the larger Deflecto pocket sheaths, and I had to punch in holes in the sides. And let me show you how I did that. All I did is I took just a Sharpie marker, I laid it in, and I kind of guided it, and I went along the same length of where the original hole was. Unfortunately, it was in the middle, so it doesn't fit in this particular book very well. I went ahead and marked where I want to have my holes, and then I just took my big bite. You could use a hole punch of any kind. This thing just goes through it like butter. It is so easy, so fast. Just make sure you're punching in the right spots. There it is. If you're a little off, just fix it. And I'm going to find a slot to hang this in. Now, because I was using little pockets, and I did the same thing, I guided it because it has 2 holes here and 2 little pouches fit. I went ahead and just marked and did the same thing with my punch right here. And I fit 2 little pockets. But because these kind of fly around, I nestled the little pockets in between a larger one. So, and I had one oddball because I only had 7, otherwise I would have had a pair here. So I just kind of nestled sometimes because I had 10 big pouches. I didn't have enough little ones, and I just labeled them in. I went through, and you may not be able to see it, but it's enough for me. I went through and I labeled what company these were all from in case I ever want to know for future reference. Now, the beauty of these little guys right here is I don't have to take everything out. I can just go in and slide out the one little die that I need. If I need to go all the way to the bottom, I can just kind of fish in there, you know, and pull that out and then push them back in. I don't need to go in and take this entire paper thing out. Same with these big guys right here. I can just open this up, grab the little die that I need, and I'm good to go. If I want to pull it all out, I can, but I don't have to. That's the joy of this. So it kind of makes it easier for me to organize. So, and I put the magnetic strips in there so you can see how they're all there. I ran out of pouches, so I did find, and you saw me how I assembled this just a second ago, putting them in one of the containers or the packaging strips that some of the dynamites came into. They were a perfect size. And so I didn't have to punch anything because they were already set to like hang. They are a lot flimsier. They're really super thin plastic compared to the durable plastic the Deflecto sheets came in. But it gave me some more space because I didn't have enough plastic pouches. So here we go. Now, here's another fun one. I had a die cut system that went with a stamp. So some of them ones are like you stamp and then you die cut it out. Well, I was able to fit one of them in here like this, and that's pretty awesome. I have another one in here. I did the same thing. So keep flipping. There we go. And where is my other, maybe I already passed it. I'll show you the other die. Oh, there it is. Here's the other stamp one. So this is the other stamp system. Sorry, it's getting caught on the little prongs. There we go. So here's the die cut pieces, and here's the stamp set that goes with it. So I'm keeping it together now. I have more systems, especially when it comes to some of, where is it? Yeah, so these are my heartfelt creations, and there's more than one die that works with the stamp set, so I did have to store those separately. I wasn't able to fit them all into this book. I mean, my book's getting pretty small and pretty tight. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my last one. Just pop it open, slide it on. And I went from a bag, and you saw the stash of dies. This is every single die. This is every single die in a book, with the exception of, and here's the fun thing, you guys are about to get something fun here. Let me close this up so you can see. Oop, there it is. These are all the dies. These are all the dies I want to keep. Now, unfortunately, there is no more room, but here's the fun part. I went through my dies and I had a replica, or I had some that when I work with dynamite dies, I was on a design team. As you notice, there's a lot of their dies in here and they're amazing. Guess what? There's going to be a prize. Let's do 2 winners. All I need you guys to do, subscribe, make sure you're subscribed, comment that you are subscribed, please. That way I don't have to hunt you down. And then put a comment also that you're interested in the prize. And then I will do a prize winning drawing as soon as I hit 700 subscribers to win these lucky dies. And I might throw some other fun stuff in there. If I'm going to make a package, I might make it extra fun. So thanks for stopping by and checking out my fun storage and how I went from a giant bags of stuff to this nice compact unit. So thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.